And welcome to the Go Time podcast here on the Voice of College Football Network. I am your host, Grant Shastry, one of two co-hosts here on the Voice of College Football Network, the LSU channel. And we got a lot of great content for you coming in the next 2 months. A lot of content, a lot of recruiting updates, a lot of interviews, and so on and so forth. There's a lot to talk about during the summer. Although there isn't much going on, there's always a lot to talk about in regards to LSU sports, especially LSU football. Of course, we got baseball going on. We actually already have our LSU Super Regional preview with Alex Day and College Baseball Network. You can go check that out. I'll actually leave a link for that video in the details below. But we're not here to talk about baseball, right? I'm leaving a link, but you clicked on the video because we got a massive update, and yes, we do. 5-star offensive tackle of the class of 2026, Immanuel Iheanacho, visited LSU last weekend, and he was impressed greatly. And that's really good to hear. So much that he moved LSU near the top. To kind of give you an idea who Immanuel is, he is a five-star offensive tackle in the class of 2026. He is from the state of Maryland, Georgetown Prep School. By the way, great school. And when I mean great school, a lot of influential people attended there, including Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Both of those gentlemen sit on the Supreme Court. So there's a lot of very, very influential people that attended Georgetown. It's one of the best high schools in the country. He's a 5-star offensive tackle. The only offensive tackles are rated above him is Jackson Cantwell, who a lot of people consider to be the top prospect in the class of 2026. Third nationally, the second offensive tackle nationally, and the number one player in the state of Maryland, according to the On3 industry ranking. Rivals in On3 rank him the highest at 4 and 5 nationally. ESPN has him 12th. 24/7 has him 22nd. But if you look at where he's still rated the second overall offensive tackle in the country. And then in Maryland, On3, 24/7, ESPN, both have him as the number 2 player in the state of Maryland. Rivals has him as the number 1. So a big-time player, 6'6", 6'7", 350 pounds. Right now, his On3 projection has him going to Oregon. But like I said, LSU, according to him, and this was in a comment to Garrett Ross of TigerBait.com, and we'll review that article in a second, LSU moved up near the top to Oregon. So that's very good to hear. Now I'm going to play you some highlights of him. And I saw these highlights earlier today, and my God, I mean, he is a monster, like I said before. 6'6", 6'7", 350 pounds, and he's excellent at setting the edge. Look at him. He goes to after the play's over, and he got flagged there. Look at him right here. Pushing over that guy, so went after him. But he bullied it. Even the refs yelling. I was like, dude, what are you doing? But like I said, he's a mauler. He's physical. He's going to push it out. He's going to be bullied. I think he barely pushed him there. It didn't look like he should, but he didn't put much force in that block. And he still pancaked him. Look at him. He's a mauler. He wants to put people to the ground. He enjoys putting people to the ground. He enjoys bullying him. He's staying on top of the man. Look at him. Look at him. This is actually one of my favorite plays coming up right here. Look at him setting the edge. What an edge block. And that allowed the running back to break up to the outside. Look at that again. It's a great edge block right there. He blocks the guy to another guy, and now allows the running back to bounce to the outside for a long touchdown run. What a great edge block. He's a mauler. He can move his feet pretty well. He might need to work on his feet a little bit more, but he can move his feet well for a guy who's 6'7", and 350 pounds. There he is over there on the opposite side of the field. He's still pushing the guy even after the play's over. Once again, he is a mauler. And this is one of my favorite plays right here from watching this video. I mean, he his assignment initially, he realized at the last second, then he makes a quick reaction, quick misdirection, and he pancakes the dude on his booty. Just you can see right here why he's a 5-star offensive tackle, 6'7", 350 pounds. Can move very well for a guy that size, and also is a pure mauler. Watching this highlight is actually making me very hyped that LSU has moved up on his list. But going to the article that my buddy Garrett wrote, Garrett Ross at TigerBait.com. Of course, I also write for TigerBait.com, giving up recruiting updates. Whenever I get them, of course, there's a lot of guys. A lot of guys are busy, but we should be having something come out about Jamari Carlton pretty soon here. I'm gonna have a few more. Eastern Royal going to be a 5-star receiver for the class of 2027 right here in the city of New Orleans, which is where I live. At Brother Martin High School. Hopefully we can get something with him pretty soon here. I'm setting up right now. And of course, Dylan Perter, waiting to hear back his answers that I sent him. But we should have some updates from a lot of guys here in the near future. Also, we might have some recruits up here on the show as well. So stay tuned for that. But Garrett Ross, he wrote an article about Immanuel Iheanacho's visit. And I'm going to read it right here. The offensive line was definitely a point of emphasis for the LSU staff this past weekend during their first official visit weekend of the summer. The LSU coaching staff focused on building a bond between the prospects that they hosted and current players on their roster. One key prospect that was on campus for the class of 2026 was 5-star offensive lineman Immanuel Iheanacho of North Bethesda, Georgetown Prep. The 6'6", 375-pounder, I think he's 350. If his list is 350, he might be 375, but I think he might be. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's a big boy. Was able to get a true Louisiana experience with his family and get an inside track on what life is like as a student athlete on the Bayou. My favorite part of the visit was being able to see the academic center because at the end of the day, it's still school, said Iheanacho. I'm still going to be playing football at a high level and being an All-American, but I want to make sure that my education comes first. I alluded to that earlier. He goes to a very smart school. A lot of very influential people in this country's history have gone there. It is a boarding school as well. So high academic standards at that school. So it kind of carries over to Immanuel as well. I'm going to continue reading the article. Being able to find a program that makes him and his family feel welcome is very important to Iheanacho. The hospitality they experienced in Baton Rouge went a long way into helping sell LSU as the right fit for Iheanacho. The current players did a great job of making everybody feel welcome, feel like we were at home, especially my parents. This was my parents' first time in Louisiana, so it was great how much they enjoyed the team as well as the overall trip themselves. He also said you being able to get to know guys like Bo Bentley and possibly projecting at LSU was really cool. I was able to catch up with Deuce Sherrills and some of the other offensive linemen like Zane Crumpin and Drew Evers. Zane Crumpin's a guy we've covered a whole lot in the past. He is also heavily interested in LSU, and LSU could be one of the schools he can pick. And we know he's a huge fan of Brad Davis. The LSU staff didn't hesitate to let Iheanacho understand how important he is to their 2026 class. Offensive line coach Brad Davis isn't one to be bashful or beat around the bush. It's just something Iheanacho really appreciates. Their message to me was that they want me and that they're coming to get me, said Iheanacho. They let me know that I'm a priority target for them in this cycle, and I appreciate that. I know it's a business, so I want to make sure that I weigh out all of my options, but I really do enjoy LSU and how they've recruited me. Part of weighing out his options will include Iheanacho taking a couple more trips over the course of the summer before announcing the program of choice. I'll be heading to Auburn for a visit on June 6th, but the trip definitely improved my view of LSU. At the moment, LSU and Oregon are at the top of my list. Iheanacho is currently the number 2 of offensive lineman, number 2 overall player in Maryland, and the number 22 overall player in the country for the class of 2026. From reading that, it looks like LSU has a great chance of landing the number 2 offensive tackle in the country, and possibly another 5-star to add to the list. LSU's already signed Tristan Keys out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, 5-star receiver. And they've also signed 5-star defensive lineman Richard Anderson, who attends Edna Carr High School in New Orleans. So a huge, huge update on what's going on with LSU recruiting. And this is one of the best ones so far. The fact that you now have Immanuel Iheanacho. If you're LSU, now you're near the top of the list of Immanuel Iheanacho's recruiting list, right? Or we already know Oregon is at the top of the list. On3 actually has it projected to go to Oregon right now. But that visit to Baton Rouge, my favorite LSU towards the end. LSU, we already know LSU is making him a priority target. We already know that he enjoyed his visit. We already know that Brad Davis made an impression on Immanuel. And we all know Brad Davis is a hell of a recruiter. Can they land him? I don't know. But what I do know, and what we all know, is that LSU is now a major player in gaining the services of 5-star offensive tackle Immanuel Iheanacho. That's going to wrap it up for the show. Please like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure to click on the bell for all notifications regarding to the channel. Please help us grow. And we're going to put out a lot of great content. We already actually have a video that's already out about that's previewing the Super Regional between LSU and West Virginia. Make sure to go check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and go Tigers.